Hello, all my chicken McNuggets, except for Scott. Scott apparently wants. Oh, what does Scott want? Scott wants parrot nuggets. So, parrot nuggets. Randomization at the start. You never thought it would start that way, did you? No. I acknowledge the traditional owners of this land, the Whadjuk Noongar peoples. I pay my respects to their elders, past and present, and to Aboriginal elders and peoples from other communities who may be taking part in this live stream today. Thank you. And thank you everybody for coming along. Mitchell. Now, it was all looking good until the stream started, and then it came up with an internal error. Oh, now it's there. Now it's there. Okay, so that... It's kind of, I've got the stream open, but it is kind of broken. It's not showing content. Hang on, I'm going to show you what I can see. I'm going to bring it up here and do this. So this is what I see. Oh, hang on. If I click on that, what does that do? Nothing. Yeah, it showed some kind of an internal server error when the stream first connected. And now it shows this. So I will put that back there for now. Okay, working here after reload. Okay, thank you, Wagon Loads. Let's try. Oh, you're talking about the stream. All right, I'm just going to try. Oh, yes. Okay, it is working again now. It is back working. That thing you saw on the screen a moment ago is something I will show you in just a second. So good morning to Crispian, Michael Wires, Mitchell, of course, Scott, Wagon Loads, Stephen W, Mitch is here, and Tabraze, Any Mules, Gavin, some call it fun, Immy, thank you for coming along, David, Tech Nebulous, Mike Carden is here, Russell Rennie, Frankie Boy, Power Care, I don't recognise that name, Henrik, Mark Laguda, Gerald42. Okay, so before I get into the actual air quality sensor thing, Gerald says, I'm just dropping in to say hi. Visiting family in Michigan. Hang on, cough incoming already. Okay, I had x-rays during the week, like chest x-rays during the week, so hopefully there will be some answers coming up about what this cough is that just never, ever goes away. So should I do a read-only Sunday, says Scott. I don't know what that is about. Okay. Okay, so Wagon Loads had a question about ESP32S3 and a DS3231. So earlier in the chat, I saw this come past. The question was, here we go. Wagon Loads said, hang on, I'm going to see if I can, where are the chat messages? Chat messages. Loading. Oh, it's just sitting here saying loading. It's not actually showing any messages in the TTS. So I can't do the speak thing. Oh, what's the new command? Is it, no, but I can't because Wagon Loads has already said stuff since then. All right, let's do this the old-fashioned way. Wagon Load said, I'm having problems with my ESP32S3 Vroom. Can't get it to see my DS3231 RTC. So, if anybody has experience... Yeah, no worries, Mitchell. Thanks. Mitchell is on the case, working on the TTS. Yeah, if anybody has experience with a DS3231 and an ESP32, please speak up. I actually have, what did I use? Hang on. I'm going to switch to something. I used an RTC in a client project just recently, but it was with a SAMD51, not an ESP32. I'm going to have a quick look because I honestly can't even remember what the RTC was. I know we went through a bunch of different options, and I'm just going to open it to remind myself but not show you. So I don't know what the point is except that we did get this working, whatever this one was. Where is it? RTC Oh no, it was a DS3232 that we used, not a DS3231. So same family, slightly different model. Okay, I'm going to get myself back into an area that you are allowed to see. Superhouse projects. Here we go. Okay, but even before that, where is preview? Here. Okay. Back to this story right here. Yeah, I've been continuing. Actually, I've got to find some other pictures. Where are they? My classic total disorganization. All right, before I tell you about those ones that are up on the screen right now, those trolleys. Over the last week or two, I've been doing a bunch of stuff. This is part of the mezzanine on the south side of the building. You can see the roller door there. This photo was obviously taken at night. Look how dark it is outside that door. So this is the this was halfway through laying the yellow tongue on the mezzanine on that side, and then this was when was this? Friday, Thursday night, something like that. Maybe Thursday night. Could have. Oh, there's a date there. The 26th at 8:18 p.m. So whatever date the 26th was, that was Thursday night. Okay, so Thursday night I had all of the deck down. I chucked a coat of paint on it. This is just like a low sheen, like a cheap low sheen acrylic, just to seal the timber, and then I'm going to put paving paint or something over it to give it a good hard surface. But that is another 30 square meters of mezzanine, which is going to give me a whole bunch of extra storage. Yeah, Stephen says, it was taken during the day. John just turned off the sun for a moment so it didn't ruin his photo. Yeah, turn off the big light in the sky. Yeah, and then after finishing that, I had a whole bunch of MDF, and so what I did was, Jack's Tech says, stencil a Superhouse logo on it. That's an interesting idea, but it would end up covered with stuff, so you wouldn't even see it. maybe I should do it anyway, just for the fun of it. Yeah, so I was getting really sick of having all sorts of heavy things sitting around and unable to move them, and I wanted to just, I'm going to reload the TTS just to see if that is back. Oh, it's doing weird things. Check this out. So yeah. Hang on, how do I get that off onto the other screen? There we go. Mitchell says he made an infinite loop. Good work. Everybody has to make infinite loops from time to time. Yeah, so I got sick of having all of these things. I've got a collection of washing machines sitting around in the factory for reasons. And stacks of rack mount server cases and a whole lot of other heavy things. And I'm really sick of having stuff fixed in place. I need to be able to just shove things around to reorganize. And so I started making some little trolleys to put stuff on. So yeah, I've been cutting MDF, painted it, actually painted these with paving paint. That's the same paving paint as is on part of the floor. So it's like a good hard finish. And then I've started sticking everything I can think of on these trolleys. And I made a few trolleys because these are like old spare sheets of MDF that weren't destined for anything else. I made trolleys specific sizes to suit different things, because I can always just make a new deck and move casters onto a new deck or whatever. So I made some trolleys that were the correct size to suit the washing machines. So this is one washing machine. You can see another one back behind it. The one back behind it is on a pallet, a mini pallet, and the pallet is sitting on a trolley. And there's a spare motor that's actually my son Tom's, but it's sitting around in the workshop. So we chucked that on a trolley as well with a rubber mat on it. And I've moved a whole bunch of rack mount server cases onto trolleys. So yeah, each of these stacks, how much, I don't know how much they weigh. Each of these cases, these rack mount cases, these ones here, they're probably a good 7 kilos, 8 kilos, maybe more. I should weigh one to see. I might be surprised and find they're like 10 kilos or so each. So these stacks are pretty heavy. But on trolleys, I can just push them around, move them wherever I like. So super convenient. And Lachlan, yeah, Peter says, I need a trolley for my trolleys. Michael says, Zen servers, you are old. Yes.
Peter Lawler said, you need a trolley for your trolleys.
Ooh, TTS is working. Yeah, Zen servers. These are from many, many years ago. These are, yes, these are old IVT rack mount servers. And the lane is here. Oh, a few other people have arrived. Jax Tech, Peter Lawler is here. Tazzy Bob, Gerald42, I said hello to earlier. Simon, Alistair, Cassio, Amanda, Jordan, the lane. Just clicking names off the list here. There we go. About 15 pounds. 8 kilos. What in pounds? About 15 pounds. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, Alistair said, washing machines on trolleys. I wonder how fast that will shake itself across the room. Yeah, I could plug one in and make it spin just to see what happens. That could be entertaining. No, they're not in running states. They are there to be powered up so I can do integration with them, connect to the control systems and do stuff for commercial reasons, for customer reasons. Oh, excuse me. I also, with Lachlan's very kind assistance and guidance, welded up some brackets. So I've done a little bit of MIG welding in the past with my friend Steve. He gave Tom and I some welding lessons a while ago, but this was done with TIG welding, which I had never done. So I got lessons from Lachlan, and now I can TIG weld really, really badly. But at least I can kind of stick bits of metal together. So I made, these are brackets that are massive overkill, but they will do the job. And then I've got a deck to go on top of this, and then there's going to be an air conditioner mounted on there. So, yeah, so we will finally be able to not bake or freeze inside the lab. This grey thing on the right, that's where there used to be a window just in the front corner of the lab. Basically back that way, if you look the way I'm pointing, back behind that rack of boxes, that's where the front door is, and on the other side of the front door is a window, or what used to be a window, and this is it. It's I took the glass out and the frame and blanked it all off with timber so that I can cut a hole in it and mount the air conditioner. So we're getting closer to having actual climate control, which will be very, very nice. Yeah, so this has been some of my extracurricular activities over the last few days, building these things. All right. I am really curious now, because these things they are quite heavy. Surprisingly, these large cases, I think these are 5 RU.
Mitchell R said, fixed now. Go for a refresh of the page at Superhouse TV.
Nice. Okay. I am refreshing that now. Yes, okay. Thanks, Mitchell. I've got all of the chat coming up. Mitch said John and his trolley problem. Yes. I can't remember if I said this earlier. I was intending to. Lachlan is referring to this as the Great Castorization.
Scott Miller said, squirrel nuggets.
Yeah, so the Great Castorization is underway. I want everything on wheels. Everything on wheels so that I can just shove it around and rearrange things. Yes, so has a hoarding problem. Yeah, I need to get rid of stuff. The thing is that those rack cases, they're too good to just scrap. Like, I don't want to just throw them in the dumpster or whatever, but I don't have a particular use for them, and they're not the sort of thing that's easy to get rid of. So if anybody Scott says, how long until John has wheels in his shoes? Oh, that's been done. So if anybody in Melbourne wants rack mount server cases, please let me know. I managed to give away a couple at a barbecue a little while ago. Yeah, David says they're metal recycling. Yeah. Yeah, and Stephen said take them to a metal recycler. Yes, that's true. I wouldn't actually just throw them in the dumpster. That's that would be totally wasteful. David, I am a whole waving temptation under your nose right now. Temptation. Tassie Bob asked, any hardware inside them? In some of them, there are some random old motherboards and things. I need to go through them and figure it out. Oh, check this out. Hang on. This is embarrassing, but Lachlan took this photo. This was while I was welding up frames. So those, the air conditioner frames that I just showed you. This was when I was in the process of making a mess and globbing bits of metal together. Scott says, if you have the rails, turn a rack into a drawer unit. Yeah, I have. I know my face is embarrassing. Okay, and Peter said, come on, TTS, catch up. Yeah, make shelves for the rack so you can store ingoing, outgoing projects. Yeah, I've got a 42 unit rack. Oh, coffee! Thank you, Amanda. We need a super house, super chat sound. Okay, because yeah, Peter's been censored. No, it just hasn't caught up to you, Peter. It's the chat is a little bit behind. Like the TTS system is a little bit behind on loading everything. Amanda, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I think it's catching up now, so we should hear it in a moment now. Oh, bad word detected. There was a bad word detected in your message that said your face is embarrassing. Okay. Yeah, you've been cancelled, Peter. All right, I am going to take a swig of this. Hang on, I've got to mute myself just for a second. I have to take a swig of iced coffee in honor of Amanda's super chat. Excellent. Peter, another super chat. Thank you. Oh, is that a membership? What is that? I don't know. But thank you. So, where was I? Where was I? I don't know. I need to get myself on track, don't I? It's a face. Yeah, Scott's probably right. Text-to-speech believes that Peter is a bad word. Peter, you're a bad, bad man. All right, let's actually get this show on the road. 10:20. It's only 10:20. Tradie, thank you for coming along. Who else has arrived? David Crisp is here. Antonio Sanford is here. Tradie is here. Stephen George, welcome. Day is triggered.
Mitchell R said, check the event in TTS. Day is triggered.
Day is triggered. Day? Day. Event triggered day. Squirrel. / day squirrel. I have no idea what's going on. I don't have a clue what is happening. It switches the sun on. All right, I am way too confused for this. It's beyond my puny little brain. So let's switch to something simpler like laser scattering particulate matter detection systems. So,
they say typo.
Day, yes. When are my notes from this? I didn't put dates in it. No. From there to there, move that to there, move PMS from that to there. Oh yeah, so this was when I was doing the D1 Mini. And this is my box of goodies. So this is my particulate matter sensor project box. And there is a whole lot of stuff here.
Event can be any event. So if you want to have like the camera change or song, we could do camera 1 or camera 2.
Oh. So event can be any event. So if you want to have like the camera change, we could do camera 1. That is interesting. Okay. Okay. What I need to do is stop throwing squirrels at me, says Michael. What I need to do is set up an API that will link into Companion. Yeah, I've got a picture in my head of exactly how I can do this, because what I'm doing for the camera switching at the moment is using Companion, which is it's connecting to the API on the ATEM and then running macros. So what I can do is expose a couple of actions through Companion and have certain trusted people, so not Peter, have the ability to do things like change the camera view on the stream live, so that I could have someone else basically be like a remote producer. Yes, okay, and we could do it through TTS. Michael says, we have a guy at work who uses an ATEM as a KVM switch. Well, of course, it's perfect for that. Massive overkill, but but if you've got one, it would do the job. So this project. Now, do I have one of the... I've got a few prototypes in here. What's that prototype? Yeah, let's go for a little trip down memory lane. I did a whole video about air quality sensors and how laser scattering particulate matter sensors work. So when you see PMS in all of these, in this context, it stands for particulate matter sensor. And that is all. So I've got a few generations of the laser scattering sensors here. So this is a 3003/G3 model. There's a 5003, which was the successor to it. It's got a slightly smaller footprint overall because the fan is integrated into it. And there are some other minor changes, I think. I can't remember what. So that's the 5003. Here I've got a whole pack of 7, I think these are 7003s. Yeah, so this is a whole pack of PMS 7003s. And these ones are smaller again, and I think they have better sensitivity or something. I can't remember what the stats are. But anyway, they're better.
So confusing. On the planned topic before the second hour.
I know, what's going on? How can we be on the planned topic within the first hour? So I've got these little connectors. I think these are 1.27 millimeter
Scott
pitch.
Miller said, so confusing. On the planned topic before the second hour.
Yep, you can say that again. So I've got these little 1.27 millimeter pitch headers which go onto the PCB or a cable, and then the sensor plugs into it. It's got the pin header sort of recessed into the body of it right there.
Peter Lawler says, SIF topic.
What did Peter say? SIF topic? I don't know what you're saying, Peter. Yeah, so I did, my very early one was done using PMS 500, these ones, the 5003, and WeMOS D1 Mini, and this is the cable that goes to the 5003, and that was then reporting to MQTT, and I did a whole video about it. I made an entire video. If anybody wants to find it and put a link to the episode, go for it. If nobody else does, I might do it in a little bit. So this was one of my prototypes as well. One of the, so there's a WeMOS D1 Mini on there, but this is a D1 Mini with an ESP32 on it. So it's the MHET Live version, and it's got the double row of pin headers on here for all of the extra I/O. Then I've got this is a BME 680 environmental sensor, so it does
Peter
temperature.
Says, John's IRC speak mode still stuck in Usenet.
Yeah, it does barometric pressure, temperature, and I think it does humidity. I can't remember. And then I've got some other I/O on here. There is the breakout that goes to the PMS 7003. There's a mode button, and there are some RGB LEDs. So this basically is like a mock-up version of what I was intending to do for the Pro version of the PMS, or the AQS, the air quality sensor. What's that one? Oh, that's the 3003. And this project kind of, how do I describe it? It's like going around and around in circles and not actually landing on a design that I was happy with. I kept changing my mind about things. So my goal today is to make some more revisions to the PCB, and I'll show you the state it's up to, and hopefully get it to a state where I can put this project to rest. So let's put that aside, just get that out of the way for now. Put that out of the way. So what you can see here are a few different versions of the PCB. These ones, one of the problems I had was that I kept changing my mind about what USB to serial converter to use. And this particular one, which version is this? Where's the version number? You can probably see it before I do. Is it on this side of the board? Where's the version number? There it is, version 2.0. Okay, so with this one, I put a CH340 on there. And CH340s suck. They are horrible. So that was a bad idea. I've got this, is this the same one? Oh, this is version 1.0. Okay, so there were some problems with this one. I can't remember what, but there were problems. And this one had a CP2102N on it. So this was my very first attempt. And then I ended up switching to the CH340G and made some other changes for the version 2. And then, what is this one? I don't even know what version this is. What does it say? 3.0. Oh, just to make it even more confusing, I have two totally different designs for V3.0. This one, you can see the packet has never even been opened. I made some changes, ordered the boards, and the change is that I went back to a CP2102N. It's just there. And I switched to a horizontal mount USB-C connector, made a few other minor changes, rearranged the LEDs, and anyway, never actually assembled them, revised the PCBs, and went to a different version of 3.0. So this is the the alternate reality 3.0. What's the where is the focus on this camera? About there somewhere. Is it about there? I don't know. So this is the alternate reality 3.0, which still has the CP2102N on it, but I went to a vertical micro USB connector. I removed the little legs that come down from the bottom. What else did I do? Changed the button styles, and yeah, I think that's mostly it. So that's probably the closest so far to what I want. Oh, actually, I think this one might be a CP2104, because CP2102s became unobtainium for a while. So as you can see, it's a mess. Like this project has just been going around and around in circles and never actually resolving anything. Here are some cases that I printed, because let's see, this one, I don't remember which version this is for. This particular case, one of these would go inside here. So you can see the reason for having it like this is that the air flow on the PMS 7003 goes through, there is that slot and this slot, and the air goes in one and then out the other. It's blown through by a fan. And the this sits inside the case, and I think this case might be, is this for this version? No, it might be for a slightly different version. One of the other versions, and then the display is visible through the front there. But the whole point is that when it's sitting on a bench like that, there is clearance underneath so that you don't get dust or anything falling in on the sensor, but it has clear access to air. So whatever particulate matter is in the air will flow through. It'll be drawn through by the fan and picked up by the sensor, and the display on the front can show an air quality score or something. And buttons on the, this is not the right generation of case to match this particular PCB. It would have been for one of the others, the other generations. This case is for the project that I showed on the video when I explained the laser scattering sensors.
Imogen said, will it reverse the polarity of the neutron airflow?
Only if you install the flux capacitor directly. So this one had the the 5003 mounted in it like that. Right there. And then fitting in the bottom here was a Wemos D1 Mini, and then this cavity up the back was for the wires to run up. And so that was the style that I had for the very simple version that was shown in the video. And then there was a version of this which was also slightly longer, and it had a display on the end. So similar to the cavity that's in the bottom, it went up here and there was another cavity on the top. And I've got one of those mounted inside the enclosure for my 3D printer at the moment. Alrighty. What's that? Oh, that's another 7003. I must have ordered a couple just as singles before I put in an order for a bunch of them. So let's try to take this big mess of stuff and pull it into an actual cohesive design. Something that I can send off for a PCB fabrication and maybe make some. Yeah, let's get busy. Let's get busy. Okay. Now, what I did, and as you saw, I have this project is such a mess. I have multiple versions of the design in Eagle, because this was done a few years ago, and the version numbers don't even make sense. Like the file names don't match necessarily the versions of what they actually are. So yesterday, in preparation for for doing this stream, I actually imported what I thought was the most recent version to begin the conversion, and it turns out that it's not. So what does this one say? Like if we go to, where's the T place, what version does this one say it is? Oh, this one was one that I started experimenting with. You can see that I've got a vertical USB-C connector and a horizontal USB-C connector. There's no routing to the vertical one. I was just messing around with the geometry of whether I should have a connector coming out the side of the case or out the back of the case. So all of that needs to be fixed. So let's... Peter just keeps getting blocked. Wagonload says print a version number on inside of each case. Yes. And just show the TTS screen for a minute, show all Peter's blocks. Yes. Okay, so here's the text-to-speech control panel. Peter.
Mitchell R said, sorry John, can you just show the TTS screen for a minute and show all Peter's blocks?
Yeah, so Peter said, your face is a diversion, which was blocked. Where else? Oh, okay, so hello Kim S and hello Don S from NZ as well. Where is Peter? Peter's... Where are Peter's blocks? I don't know. Okay. Yeah, we need to unblock Peter.
Some Call It Fun said, now that you set the project aside for a while, did you gain any sense as to what was holding you back?
Okay, so excellent question. This is an actual properly insightful
Scott
question.
Miller said, Peter is a diversion.
So, what was holding me back? I think I was partly churning.
Said, John's visage is blocked.
I was partly churning because this was happening during the chipocalypse, and I was having problems with USB serial. So, what was this one? Come on, info. What is that one? That one is a CP2102N. Okay, on this particular version. So this was happening right at the time that parts just kept going out of stock. And for a while I couldn't get the CP2104s. Then I switched to the CH340G, and then I hated it, so then I switched to the 2102N when it came back in stock again.
Imogen Ann said, face. Yeah, sorry. So the other thing is, and as you can see from this design, this partly helps to answer the question. I could not get clear in my head the use case. Should this be something that sits on a desk? Should it be something that attaches to the wall? I wanted to be able to attach it to places, like attach it to a wall. And so I was experimenting with different orientations. And as you've seen, I've done a version with a vertical micro USB. I've done horizontal USB-C. I was experimenting with vertical USB-C here. I think I might have even Imogen Ann said, Peter.
Some other variation. I don't know. It was all annoying and a mess. So actually, where is the programming header? That's the... Am I going blind? Where is the programming header for this thing? Oh no, there isn't one other than this. So is there a boot mode pin? Where is GPIO2 connected? Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to act like this doesn't even exist. I am going instead to say File, New Electronics Design, and I'm going to bring in a different version of the file and then start working from that.
So let's call this AQ, because we've had two different designs, both called version 3.0, let's call this AQS V4. And hopefully that will disambiguate it from Henrik. Henrik is now a silver supporter. Thank you, Henrik. Let's upload. I have AQSSC. What am I doing? This one, that one. This is a different one to the AQS.SCH that I was just looking at. So we'll load that. We'll load this. This may end up being a all the wrong thing as well. No, not that one. I want to load. Select from my computer. I want to load that, which should be the matching
Scott Miller said,
one.
John, you have an hour recorded to redesign from scratch.
Yeah, no. I'm not going to redesign from scratch. I'm going to take this version, which I think was the most recent, and I'm going to gut it. And because the geometry is already worked out for a whole bunch of stuff. So hang on, I'm going to not do that. I'm going to go here, save that so that I can AQS V5.
Some Call It Fun said, how sensitive is the device? The distance to potential pollutants may dictate the form factor.
The thing is that what it detects is material that is so small that it almost acts like a gas. It stays suspended in the air mostly, and it travels and disperses through a volume fairly rapidly. So as long as you've got it in the room, it will probably detect whatever particulate matter, like smoke or other things that end up going into it. DIY, thank you for that super chat. Wagon Loads asked, is there a way to link a KiCad PCB to a case CAD file? That is a very good question for the KiCad people in the Peanut Gallery, aka audience. So, okay, let's begin. Let's begin, shall we? Oh, look at this, look at the date on this. 16th of the 9th.
Said, happy that John is happy all that, and the earlier two is just for your iced coffee fund.
Yep, my iced coffee fund. I should take another swig of iced coffee in honor of your contribution. So, 3 years ago, let's change this. Let's make it, what is the date today? 29th, and we're going to make it version 4.0. So after a 3-year hiatus, this project is being resurrected.
Can we reverse the polarity of the dust flow to my bathroom?
Yes, we can. And the way to reverse the polarity of the dust flow to your bathroom is to create a positive pressure differential. So we need to pressurize your bathroom, and then the dust will be repelled. Auto reset, USB serial converter, power supply, blah. Is there another sheet? Yes, there is. So we've got an environmental sensor. So we've got the BME 680 on there. We've got the connector for the particulate matter sensor. There is the LCD and a mode button. I don't know if a single mode button is enough, but let's have a look at what's going on with the PCB before we do anything much else. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this to a 3D view, because that can be a very useful way to inspect and figure out what's going on. Seeing this in a less abstract form can be a really good way of looking at it. Okay, so this is now the imported version of what was the most recent v3.0, and what we're looking at here is the back of the device, because when you're looking at it, it would actually look like this. We would have that cavity in here, and you can see the silkscreen outline. That is where the particulate matter sensor mounts. It plugs into this little header.
Ann said, heck yes. Now we need a dust filter to catch the reverse polarity flow.
Yep.
Ha 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 ha.
You do, Imi. So that cavity in between the PCB and the display, that is where the particulate matter sensor
Imogen
is
Ann
mounted.
said, heck yes. Now we need a dust filter to catch the reversed polarity flow. Mahahaha.
So it sits facing this way, like we're looking at the front of the device here, but the parts are all on the back. And in this particular version, there's a CP2102N, there is the vertical micro USB connector. There is a 3.3 volt regulator.
Ostrov said, with one button you can do single click, double click, triple click, long press, am I right?
Yes, that's true, Henrik, you can. So with one button you can do a few different things. The main reason I had the button was just to be able to toggle through screens, because you might, for example, have a default screen which just shows a big number that you can glance at from a distance, and that number might be, say, the European Standard Air Quality Index, like the AQI number, calculated from. Okay, I could chase this squirrel for a little while, but I will keep it short. When you see an air quality number reported, so when it's, as we've just seen, it's been 3 years since I've looked at this stuff, and I can't remember the details, but there are different air quality index systems used in different places around the world, and they might have a number that is from 1 to 10 in terms of pollution level, or it might be 1 to 1,000 or something. So you might see an air quality report for one city that says it's got a score of 673, and another report that says this one's got a score of 2. And it's because they're on totally different scales, they're not even using the same way of reporting. And so but that single number that they give you is based on a formula that factors in a number of other sub-measurements. And those measurements are things like the particles per cubic meter of air volume in a certain size range. And then there are a whole bunch of different size ranges. So you might have contamination from smoke, for example, which is in a particular size range, and the other size ranges may be relatively clear, but you have a lot of smoke, so that's going to have a very high count within that particle size range. Or you might have you might have pollen, for example, which might give you a high count in a different range, or you might have both of them. So the overall single air quality index number that you were given is based on a formula that factors in all of those different measurements. And so what I was thinking of doing was having just the summary number on the screen, so you can glance across at it and see overall, okay, is the air good or bad? But if you want detail, then having a mode button, if you click the mode button, it might go into a detail screen where it shows you the ppm values for each of the different particle sizes that the scattering sensor can report, etc., and also humidity, temperature, barometric pressure, etc. Oh, Alistair said touchscreens. Yes. Scott said idea for a user interface, full text entry via Morse code. And Alistair said with one button you can enter binary data Morse style. Yeah. Okay. Two people had the same idea.
Some call it fun said, did you have a version that lit the case green, blue, yellow, or red based on quality?
Yes, I did. So that was the reason for having the RGB LEDs. And on this side, in fact, the RGB LEDs are gone in this design. That's interesting. I must have dropped them because I had them in the previous design. There were RGB LEDs, and when they were on, the case would glow, so the whole case would change color. That is very interesting. I don't even remember why I did that. I think I dropped them maybe just because I was trying to make the whole thing as small as possible. And maybe I should put edge mount LEDs on this. That would be cool. And also I could use the screen, so I could make the display go red if air quality is bad or something. All right, so what are we going to do here? Oh, hang on. AQS V5. Why did I name this AQS V5? Shouldn't it be 4? I'm going to rename that file. 5, this one here. I'm going to rename this before it totally confuses me.
Some call it fun said, sorry, I didn't mean to add scope creep. Henrik Ostrov said, can you use like RGB screen then?
RGB screen. Yeah, well this screen is full color. It's an OLED. So it's a full color OLED, I should say, just for clarity. So yeah, this can do different colors, and you could have a, like you could make the whole background red and then have a black number in here or something if the air quality is poor. So we don't really need the, oh, make it beep when you have bad air, Wagon Load says. But now you have 2 V4s. I don't think so. So I've got the project, I've got the schematic, the PCB, and the 3D representation, all called V4. So I think I'm okay. All right, let's get into this whole rip and replace thing, because my inclination these days, like back when I did this, the ESP32S3 had not yet been released. So let's go on a on a destructive, on a rip and replace destructive thing. I'm going to get rid of all of this. Yeah, stuff it, get rid of that. 3.3 volt power supply I still need. Oh, excuse me. I'm not going to need a USB to serial converter anymore. What I'm going to need is, I'm just going to move this up out of the way briefly. Move that up there. Give ourselves some room to work. And microcontroller. Ooh. To do, put WS2812B back on. Okay, so that's my notes to myself from way back. I think what I might do is put edge mount LEDs around it, just because they're kind of cool. And then, all right, we've got pin assignments there. Yeah, we've got the Vroom 32 there. Okay, so just to summarize, my plan here is to replace the old style ESP32 with an ESP32S3, and that's why I've just deleted all of the USB to serial stuff. It's not required anymore. So let's just give ourselves some room to work. And the other thing is, should I use a full-size ESP32, like a Vroom module, or should I use a Vroom Mini? I've got...
Henrik Ostrov said, also why is CH340 bad? I've never had ENY problems.
I've got to stretch my memory for that. So Henrik's question was, why is the CH340 bad? I think there have been issues with drivers on Mac in the past. Like, at some point in the past, it was possible to kernel panic a Mac simply by plugging in a device with a CH340 on it. And I know they're used on, they are super cheap. They're like the cheapest USB serial converter ever, which is why they're used on all the bargain basement Arduino clones coming out of China. But they do have problems.
Said, don't use a module. Use the chip itself.
No, because I want to, what am I doing? I want to use ESP32 H2 S3 S3. Do I have an S3 Vroom? Do I use the Mini or do I use the regular? The thing is, I want the antenna, and I can't be bothered doing all of this design from scratch. This is not a situation of wanting to optimize to the nth degree. I think I'm just going to use the normal Oh, has an unconnected pin. S3 Vroom. What? Is my library part broken for that right now? That's interesting. Library, let's try just doing a library update. Maybe the solution to that is to copy the part. Yeah, that is kind of weird. Why would that have happened? I think it must have been since I added the mini version of the module. So, what do we do? What do we do? Let's see if the mini version works. S3 mini. See if this is broken in the library. No, that one works. Okay. Oh well, looks like I'm using the mini version of the module. So the mini version.
Henrik Ostrov said, could you add both so you can choose?
Not easily. I'd need to put them in on different parts of the board because it's not just a matter of fitting it. Or maybe you could. Alright, I am temporarily going to disable violation checks and just try fitting this. No, it doesn't quite fit. So we can't quite put this footprint in the middle of the other footprint and then wire all the different signals together. So, do I go for the mini? Do I not? I have plenty of the S3s in stock. I do have some minis in stock. Yeah, what the hell? Let's use a mini. Hang on, I have got to cough again, and thanks to all of the sponsors, I'm going to have another swig of iced coffee. Okay, so Alistair said, +1 for not using a module and putting the chip directly on. It's a learning curve, but great for making boards tiny. Yes, that's true. That is true, but the counterpoint to that is we don't have any space restrictions on this. There's plenty of room, and I want to get this done in the next hour, and I don't really care. Yeah, yes. That can be for a different project, not for this particular project. So let's start with doing some hookups. Oh, look, because of the library change, the footprint moved on the... Yeah, this project is so old that it's referencing parts that have been updated in my libraries, and yeah, footprints are different, symbols are different, all sorts of things are different. So let's do some hookups. Do some hookups. No hookups for me. Now move that there. Sorry, what I'm doing right now is I'm just trying to give myself a little bit of room. Where should I put that? So that I can try to get all of this on screen at the same time, because it's kind of awkward working on this little monitor. Where? Yeah, about there. That'll do. There, there, there. And I will move this a bit, just so that we can get things into view. And also this monitor is up high. I'm having to sit here and look up. This is not the monitor that I normally work on day to day. I normally have things down in front of me, and this is up up high above my normal monitor and next to the camera. Paying for assembly on first run boards is silly. Yeah, and also I'm only ever going to make a... Wagonlit says, if you're trying to make two options for ESP, can you put the second ESP on the opposite side? Yeah, not the opposite side of the PCB, but the opposite side in terms of like left and right. Yes, the other side of the PCB has the particulate matter sensor on it, which basically covers almost the entire PCB area. I could, but I can't be bothered. So I am going to do this. What am I going to do? Copy that. Also, I need to check, what is this? Superhouse? Oh yeah, it is from the Superhouse library. Alright, so I'm going to do all the basic hookups first, the ones that I don't really have to think about. So I'm going to hook up 3v3, there's a reset button. In fact, what I will do is, to save moving things around, I'm going to use that same reset button. I am going to hook up power, hook up ground, and we've got the D plus and D minus for USB there. So is it M and P, or I can't remember. What's the suffix to make it a differential pair in Fusion? It's probably the same as whatever it is in KiCad. So let's stick some labels on here, and we're going to call this one USB P, USB N. I think it's P and N, not P and M. Yeah, P and N. Yeah, so P, that'll do. I think that makes it differential. So what we can do, okay, here's something for you all to debate. What connector should I use? Alright, this is an area where I may actually put two footprints on the board, because my idea had been, sorry, I'm looking around because I want to find the physical device. You saw that on one of those versions I had let's go over here. I had the USB cable coming out the side. On one of them I had a vertical connector, so it was coming out the back. Now, if this is sitting on your desk, for example, say you've got this in your office, sitting on your desk, off to the side somewhere so you can see the display, you probably want the USB cable coming out the back.
USB-C.
Yeah, USB-C. So probably want it coming out the back, because that's the neatest. Then you can't see the cable. You could route it down under your desk or something. But the problem is that prevents you from doing something like wall mounting this. So in that situation, you might want the cable coming out the side. But do people want it coming out the left side or the right side? I don't know. So I might put two USB connectors, like footprints for two USB connectors, and defer the decision. And also what I could do is make versions of the case for wall mounting and desk mounting. So the PCB inside could be exactly the same, maybe just with different USB connectors populated. And I could have a version like this, which has these little feet on it, which would be for sitting on a desk, because when it sits on the desk,
Bottom, then use a right angle cable on the desk.
Yeah, okay. So it could come out that way or that way. No, it could be there and then coming out there. Yes, that could work. That's a clever solution. Yeah, so anyway, what I could do is a version of the case like this, with these little feet on it to give the air clearance cavity under here. So it sits on the desk like that. And there could be a version that doesn't have this feet, it's just a rectangle, which is designed for wall mounting. And there could be a clip or something to put it on the wall. Now, PoE the world. Yeah, some call it fun says wall mount doesn't need feet. Yep. Oh, Wagonload said if USB is power only, can you use magnetic USB on each side? Ooh, interesting. Interesting idea. All right. So that is the challenge. I am going to defer that decision for a few minutes while I randomly connect a few other things. Well, not so randomly, you know what I mean. All right, so what have I got? I need the set and chip select, reset, and TFT backlight. I need SPI connections. So let's see, I'm going to go, I need clock, Mosi Miso, Kobe Kipo, however you want to say it. There's, what else? TFT reset. All right, so connections to the display. This is something I'm not really sure about. Oh, okay, I also need I2C, of course, for the environmental sensor. So that, what are we going to use on the S3? What are the default I2C connections? I don't think I've marked it on here. Only available on Mini. Okay. Enable IO0. So that's the boot mode pin. I should put a button on the boot mode pin, just in case, because sometimes you really do need to put them into boot mode to recover them. Yes, you are seeing me go into a kind of now strapping pins. What are the strapping pins on the S3? I think I need to, what am I going to look at? What can I use as a reference? I've gone totally blank. What projects have I been doing recently? Not Testomatic. What else? What other projects? Axle Wi-Fi, CAN mod, conveyor. What did I use on the conveyor? I can't remember if I used an S3. I think I might have used a just a regular ESP32. Conveyor. Yeah, I think because this is also an old project that I need to get back to. Oh, hang on, no. It wasn't. This was used, yeah, this was plugged into one of the touchscreens. That's right. That was different entirely. So let's come back to here. No, not that. That. I want SPF mod. OpenKO. OpenKO I think has a regular one. Does it? Or is it an S3? I don't know. I've been using S3s a lot on client projects recently, but I haven't been using them much on... Okay, what I'm going to do is let you have that nice little view there. Stephen W says 345 and 46 are strapping pins. Okay, in that case, let me just mark those.
Henrik Ostrov said,
Oops.
Look in DCDM, the last link I've sent, could you use that for power?
Okay. Hang on. What was that? On S3 I could not find GPO 22 4A²C. Hang on, 345 and 46 are strapping pins. So 3, where is 45? 45, why am I copying from over there? And 46 are strapping pins. All right, so I've marked those as no connection and I'll avoid them. Yeah, well, on ESP32, because it's got the internal pin selection matrix, you can actually map I2C onto just about any pin. So I'm going to pull this off the screen, but what I'm going to do is refresh my memory on what I've done for other projects with an S3, because I've done a heap of S3 projects for clients, but not, sorry, I've just got to come into here. Was this one S3? I have a feeling it may not have been. I might have to go to a newer generation. Where is my where is my little stack of post-it notes? No post-it notes. No post-it notes. Oh, that was an S3. Okay, so what I used for I2C on this one was 8 for SDA, 9 for SCL. So 8 and 9. Remember that, people. 8 and 9, SDA, SCL. I'm going to 8 and 9. Come back into here. And we're going to do 8 and 9. And I am really making very slow progress, aren't I? IO8, IO8, SDA, IO9, SCL, IO9,
Scott
SCL.
Miller said, that landscape looks 3D printed.
3D printed or 3D rendered? Now, what else? Okay, so what I need to do is change, I need to start dissociating things from the original. So what I'm going to do is rename this net IO21 SDA. I'm going to do it for all segments on all sheets, and this is going to rebind that net to the S3. So that's going to become IO9.
It was a USB pogo thingy used for reverse protection of Schottky diode, and that USB should work.
Oh, okay. USB pogo thingy. Yep. What am I doing? SEL, that's right. Sorry. Rename all segments on all sheets, and that will be IO. I made a mistake on the previous one. Okay, so this is 8 and 9. So 9 is SCL, yes, and 8 is SDA. Rename all segments, all sheets. So that has now just renamed the nets on the other sheets as well. So now we have I2C connected to, for the environmental sensor, is now connected to the S3 on these. Oh, weird rendering bug. There was a rendering bug on that label. Okay, so the S3 is now connected to the BME 680. Now, what else do we need to do? Let's stick some... I need to rotate those labels. Let's stick some labels on here for SPI. And where are we at? 11:14. I'm not going to make this, am I? I am going so slowly. I am working in slow motion mode at the moment. So we've got to pull up on IO0.
Is a weird bug.
GPIO0 has that pull up. Let's just name, we're going to net and name this for now, and that will then automatically bind that to the pull up resistor, and then I'll relocate that once I delete the other IO0, once I delete the other module. IO0? Why was there no IO0? Oh, it's called GPIO0. That's annoying. Let's rename that net. All segments, yes. Okay, so now those two nets are bound. So IO0 is now bound to the mode button and the pull-up resistor. Okay, in fact what I can do is start deleting nets off here so that I know which ones I've done. I've done SDA, I've done SCL, I have not done any of those. DC, is IO13? No, IO13 doesn't look like it's going to anything. I can verify that. Yep, there's nothing else connected to that net. Alright, so I'll delete that, and just for clarity I'm just going to delete all of the ground. I'll delete power, the footprint, this footprint, like that schematic symbol, that's a physical representation of the position of the pins on the module, which is very annoying. So I'm not going to do that anymore. Get rid of that. Let's get rid of those. Oh, my chest is feeling crunchy again. All right, get rid of that. So now we need the particulate matter sensor, RX and TX, which means I need a second UART. Oh, hang on, we've got TX. Ah, okay, because this is the regular ESP32, TXD0 and RXD0, we're going to the USB to serial converter. We do not need those anymore, and in fact those nets are no longer even connected to anything. So I'll get rid of those. Then I need a serial port for the particulate matter sensor. So what pins am I going to use for that? I'm just going to hit save out of paranoia and come back to here because I'm going to open a schematic that I can't be showing you. In fact, what I should do is pull this. In fact, what I am going to do, I'm going to pull this and have it open on my other monitor so that you can't see it. And pull that. And can I de-dock that? No, I can't, but that's okay. All right, back to here. Oops, back to here. The windowing is all messed up. Let's get rid of that.
Scott Miller said, yup, 3D printed at low quality.
Yeah. Let's get rid of that. Not that you can see it. All right, so serial ports. Serial ports. Where is the other serial port? Oh, and this design, I don't think even has it. Oh, hang on. TXD, so it's 43 and 44. IO43 and IO44. Oh, what am I doing? It's labeled. Look at this. I could have just like used my eyes. Oh. Okay. So that is TXD0. So I'm going to use serial port 0 as the connection to the particulate matter sensor. And so PMS RX, so 16 and 17. I've got to figure out, this is the classic TX versus RX question. So in this one, sheets, the pinout on the PMS. All right, when it says PMS RX, is that receiving? All right, so ESP32, I'm going to check this out. ESP32 pinout. Because I want to find out what is going on with IO16. Oh, let's see, UART pins. Okay. So IO16, let's use that as our reference. IO16 is UART2 and it's RX, and it is listed as PMS-TX. Okay. So what that means is if I've got to I've got to maintain these layers of abstraction in my brain now. How am I going to do this? So I know what I'll do. I will write notes to myself. So IO16 PMS TX needs to go to the RX pin on the S3. Okay, so where are we? Up here. Here. Okay, let's do this. So the TX pin goes to the RX pin. So that is going to be, let's call it IO44 PMS TX. TX? Yes. Okay, and we'll call this one IO43 PMS RX. Okay, so that is the RX pin of the particulate matter sensor going to the TX pin of the ESP32. And now what I can do is rename these nets, which will then force the binding on the other sheet as well. So if I do, so PMS-TX is now 44. PMS-TX, let's rename that, that net to 44. Link both the nets together, and what was the other one? 43. So we will link this one, rename that segment to 43 to force the binding across the sheets, and then we can just delete them. Ba-donk, ba-donk. Okay, but we will now have the particulate matter sensor bound to it. All right. Now I think we need, well, I could do the reset stuff just to get that out of the way. Will I, won't I? I believe I will, and I believe I can fly. Is anybody still here? I'm not, I've had the chat covered for a while, so I haven't even been able to see it. 89SCL, and here's now, but what? Mr. Dwarek, I don't know what you're on there. Wagon Load says, I made a 0 ohm jumper for a TXRX connection so net names don't get messed up. Okay. Nobody but us nuggets. Okay, so everybody is still here. Everybody that matters anyway. Anybody that's not here doesn't matter. That's the logic. Okay, so yeah, putting something like a 0 ohm resistor, it doesn't even need to be 0 ohm, it could just be a low value resistor, like you could put a 1K resistor or something in there. That would be perfectly fine, and then you've got the TX on this side and the RX on this side, and you can see the match. I have done that on other projects in the past. Or you could do it with
Scott
a cut
Miller
track
said,
jumper.
Nobody but us nuggets.
Yeah.
Henrik Ostrov said, I think John need more coffee. Henrik Ostrov said, him here, don't worry.
Yeah, you can do it with a cut track jumper as well, because then you've got a different net name on each side of the jumper and there's no part to place on the board. But if you have screwed up, you can cut the cut track jumper and then patch it. So that is another way to do it. So I need, oh, okay, there is that. Let's relocate this just to get it out of the way. Move that. I'm just going to stick it over, where will I put it? IO0, I'll put it here, because ultimately that's where it's going to need to go anyway. In fact, let's, since we're so close, let's just do that. Oh, maybe I should put that on the other sheet, because there is a button on the other sheet. Oh, no, that'll do. Okay, so IO0, where is IO0? Disconnected. Enable is the next thing. So what I could do is break that net and move that over there. Yeah, let's do it that way. So I'm going to, in fact, I'll delete that label and I'm going to grab all of this and move it over here. Oi, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's move this.
Henrik Ostrov said, you removed the label.
Yes, I did remove the label. There was another label somewhere else on that same location though. This has ended up getting, because I dropped it down, I dropped the group when I shouldn't have. It ended up making auto connections to places it shouldn't have made. Okay, so yeah, there is this label also on reset, so that's fine. That net already has a label on it, and ooh, I am very much thinking I'm going to relocate this for neatness' sake. So I'm going to split that and label that, and then on the other sheet, where is the button that's associated with? Mode button, here we go. IO0 goes to this mode button. I'm going to stick a pull up on here instead. So let's just grab a, oi, copy. Let's just, not that. My coordination is terrible. Let's just grab a random thing from there and pull it up to 3.3 volts, and 4K7 is a bit strong for a pull up. Let's make it 22K and do that and take that. We'll neaten it up a little bit. Neaten it up. Okay, so IO0. Okay, so this mode button is connected to IO0, which is the boot mode pin, but it can also be used after boot as the user input button. So it's doing double purpose. That's the reason that it's like that. Oh, this footprint got updated as well. Got narrower, which is why these now need to move. All right, so the display. Environmental sensor, that's already taken care of. We fixed I2C, and we've now fixed the mode button. We've got a couple of these nets connected. We still need to connect the reset pin and the set pin. I think they can just be any particular GPIOs. It doesn't really matter. So I can connect those up. Let's go back to the other sheet. Yeah, so this is now obsolete because I've just replaced that with the resistor that is on the other sheet where the mode pin goes. Where the mode pin goes. Oh, just giving myself some breathing space here.
Scott Miller said, gonna code it to accept more code on that button.
Gonna what, the where, who, which now? I didn't understand that comment. I couldn't actually hear the TTS well. Probably because I keep talking over it. Alright, let's stick this down where, about there. Yeah, that's neat enough. And link the enable pin to that reset net. Okay. Why is that sticking right up there? Make that a little bit neater. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Some Call It Fun said, does pin 45 and need to be connected to something?
Good question. Do we need pull-ups and pull-downs on 45, 46 and 3, or do we just leave them floating? I think we just leave them floating because they are biased already on the vroom module to put it into the correct mode. So yeah, I don't think we need to add anything. We could stick that over here. I need, where will I put it? I'm just going to stick it here. So what this is a decoupling cap, which I'm going to stick right near the power rail of the vroom module. And I'm going to change that to 22 microfarad. But what I'm going to do is just physically put it over here near the module in the schematic so that it is, it's apparent that it needs to be physically located close to it on the PCB layout. It's a clue to the person doing the PCB layout. I wonder who that will be. Okay, so I need to...
Ostrov said he meant the N pin you just connected, the TTS is slow.
Oh, the pin you just connected. Okay. TTS got... I don't know. Yeah. What you're seeing right now is a view into my chaotic mind. So let's... What do we do? What we shall do is finish the connections to the PMS. So we're going to need some I/O pins going to the set and mode, I think they were called. I can't remember. What? What? Well, that's kind of epic. Mitchell, how long is this going to go for? This is the longest super chat sound. Okay, it stopped. It stopped. That is the longest super chat sound I've ever heard. 30 seconds. Okay. Yeah, Michael said that would have been much better if it were Rick Astley. Yeah, so people could pay to rickroll me. Okay, so pins. I'm going to pick pins that are specifically fairly physically close to it, like 47, 48, 47, 40. Yeah, let's use IO 47, 48. Hopefully there are no particular no particular restrictions on those. I'm trying to avoid the T-clock, TDO, TDI, TMS pins. I could use those, but I'm just trying to avoid them. And I'm avoiding 45 and 46 because, oh, that's pin 27 and 30. They're a little bit of a distance away. Sorry. Thought process. Slow down. What I'm trying to do is find GPIOs that are physically near pins 39 and 40 on the module just to simplify routing. Although it may not actually simplify routing, it may make it harder if they're on the other side. So I need to find high value pins with GPIOs. Ideally I'd be using 41 and 44, but those are forbidden. So 27 and 30 are a long way. What? Is this going again? Who did this? Henrik! Okay. Henrik. This is like putting money in a jukebox. Okay, I'm going to use these. I've lost the power of speech. Okay, thanks Henrik. IO 41 and IO 42 I'm going to link to, what is the time? 11:34. I've got 25 minutes. There is no way I'm going to do this. So I'm going to link those to PMS reset and PMS set. So I don't know I haven't looked at the routing to figure out, like, I might end up reassigning these, but let's make this PMS set and this one PMS reset. And yeah, I might remap the pins later if it turns out that the routing doesn't make sense and they need to be somewhere else. So now what I can do, once again, is do this trick where I am going to rebind these nets.
Henrik Ostrov said, it's John's Junebox, that's why it's water.
So PMS reset is now IO42 and then delete it. And I'm going to rename this one IO25 is now IO41 PMS set, rename, bind all the nets and delete it. Okay, so now we have the pins for the particulate matter sensor taken care of, and on the schematic they're all adjacent to each other, which makes me happy. Makes it easier to find things. So we've got USB group together, we've got I2C group together, we've got, maybe what we'll do is use IO38 as chip select or something. Is there a particular chip select? I don't know. So let's try. So we need copy SCLK. All right, let's do the net naming dance on this. So this one is going to be IO35 copy. This one is going to be IO36 SCK and IO37 Kipo. IO37 Kipo. I haven't done SPI stuff for a while, so I don't even know if those pin renamings have stuck. Are people still using Kipo and Copy? I know SparkFun was doing that for a while. Okay, so I'm going to rename Copy instead of Miso and Mosi. So Copy IO23, we are going to rebind to, what is the new Copy? It is 35. Bind that. Clock. The new clock is now 36. Oh, hang on. I called it SCK instead of SCLK, so let's SCK, yeah, we'll do that. And so I've done that. Where is the other net? Did I delete the other net? Where is Kipo on this? I think I must have deleted that net. All right, let's just delete that and that because now we've renamed those nets. So we've got TFT stuff there to go, still to go. That'll be the last thing. And then I can start putting parts on the board. But first I need to find the Kipo. So IO37 Kipo, I need to rename on the LCD module. I'll do it this way since I'd already deleted the other net. So where is it? Where is it? What? Ah, there isn't one. That's interesting because there is no data coming back from the LCD. So there is no data line coming back from the LCD heading towards the microcontroller. It only ever writes to the LCD. So this is SPI, or kind of a strange SPI, but it is not using the MISO pin or the Kipo pin. Ah, that explains it. I didn't accidentally screw it up and rename it on the other sheet. I think I'm going to have room to put everything on the same sheet now after this, once I delete this stuff. And that's going to, I'm going to have a single sheet schematic, which will be luxury. Luxury. Okay, so I have the nets now for the TFT connections, which are the fake SPI. So I'm just going to kill that whole module now. So that vroom module is gone. I can get rid of all of these do not connect markers. get rid of that. That note is no longer relevant. I can move these to make some room. And I've got the power supply up there. So what I think I'm going to do is, before I go too much further, I'm going to consolidate the schematic onto a single sheet, because that is going to make it, no, not that, I want to move, not delete, because that is going to make it much easier for this next stage where I am doing the net hookups. So I'll move that. This is all just to make some space. Switch to the other sheet, and I should be able to take all of this and make it fit. So I can go move that group and stick it on this sheet and give myself a single sheet design. So I'm going to take that, move it down here. I can make this fit, I'm sure of it. A little bit of a squishy. Yeah, it's not even going to be that squishy. There is plenty of room. All right, I'm going to move the microcontroller back over to the right. Stick it down here somewhere. Where? About there. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. That'll do, donkey. So stick that up there. Yeah, about there. And, oh, come on. Don't drop it after I've started moving it. Move that there, move that about there, move that about there. So artistic. It's all on a bit of a skew. And move the label. See? It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. USB serial converter is not actually a USB serial converter anymore. But what I'm going to do is move that over here somewhere while figuring out what to do about that USB connector. That can fit just down there. All these notes can go somewhere. There'll be room for those later. The pin-out notes. Okay. We are now in much better shape. Oh, hang on. I forgot about that mode button. It is out there chilling.
Scott Miller said, I like to leave boxes slightly off square to drive OCD types nuts.
You nasty, nasty person. All right, I'm going to put the power supply up. It's selected that as well, but that's okay. I can move that again later. Move that. Grab that. Move there. Lots of big, just shoving stuff around at the moment. Move that there. Stick that down there. And there we have it. Everything is fitting on one single schematic sheet. Okay.
Scott Miller said, yes. Yes, I am.
At least you recognize it in yourself, Scott. So I'm going to remove that sheet because it's got nothing in it. And we now have a one sheet schematic. Such a good feeling. All right, so now I need to figure out what nets to use, or what I/O pins to use for these connections. And also, oh, put WS2812 back on. Yeah, I could put some edge mount LEDs on here somewhere. So I'm just doing this to get it inside. Where?
Scott Miller said, Derido ergo sum.
There. Derido ergo sum. Is that I insult therefore I am?
15 minutes remaining.
Some call it fun. Thank you for those memberships. Oh, cool. Oh, SEIF, you've got a funky little logo there. SKIF, skiff. I like that. Yeah, memberships, that is cool. Memberships should trigger some kind of song that goes for 7.5 minutes too. All right, so I am not going to get this totally done on this stream. We have now determined that, because the board layout is a total mess. It is now, it is full of tracks that go nowhere and stuff in the wrong place, and I don't have the this on the in place. I need to replace the USB connector, do a bunch of routing. So that is not going to happen on the stream today, but at least we can get the schematic, I think, pretty well wrapped up, pending the decision on the USB connector. My feeling is, on the USB connector, to go for a vertical USB-C. And anyway, I'll get back to that. First, I've got to figure out what pins I'm going to use for DC, RST, BLK, and CS on the on here. So we've got pins 31, 32, 33 SPI. So we're not using Keepo, but that's okay. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a no connect symbol on Keepo, because we're not actually using it. I've got the net named, but it doesn't go anywhere. Then we've got to connect up. So we can use 25, 26, yeah. I think I might use these ones that are close. And I'm going to use, if I use IO33 and 34, I am tying myself into the mini format of this module. Do I want to do that? I don't care about DAX. So what I'm going to do, I think, is, no, not route. I'm definitely going to use IO21. Maybe what I'll do is I'll use 16, 17, 18, 21, which will put it fairly close on the module, and it won't impinge on the mini specific pins. So what is IO26 mini PSR? 26 is used by PS RAM. Okay, so we definitely want to avoid that one. Let's use these ones. I don't care about DAC. I don't care. So let's name some nets and link them up. So in order to TF, let's go TFTDC. Oh, I should name it just for clarity. IO16 TFTDC, IO17, we'll do that one TFT RST, so that's the reset pin. This one's IO18, and I'll make that TFT BLK. And this one is IO21, we'll make that TFT chip select. Hopefully that works out okay. And then I'm going to do, once again, I'm going to do the little net name dance where we rename every segment. So CS is now IO21, yes, join those nets. BLK is now 18. RST is now 18, where are we? What are we doing? RST. RST is now IO17. Yes, link those nets. And what am I missing? IO21 is done. Oh, this one. Okay, DC. DC is now IO16. And now we can delete them. All right, I think we now have all of the nets. What we do not have is the RGB LEDs. And I am not entirely sure if I want to add them back in. Maybe, let's have a look. LEDs. Because what I could do is use, where is it? The 3535? No, the 4020. This is it. This is the little side mount addressable LEDs. So I could stick a couple of these on. How many would I want to do? Not too many. Move the notes out of the way. D in, D out, D in, VDD. Can I be bothered? I don't know. I seriously don't know if I want to put the RGB LEDs back in. Yeah. They are, because then I've got level shifting issues as well. Will these run off a 3.3 volt data line, or do I need a level shifter? I don't know. I'm just going to leave them in the schematic for now, but not link them. And I am going to return to that question because I now have 9 minutes left. I need to update this list of pinouts as well. And okay, so USB. Let's resolve this whole USB issue. I think that what I'm going to do is add a vertical USB connector, USB-C, USB-C vertical. I'm going to add this one. So I'm going to stick, this footprint is horrible. I mean, the schematic symbol. That is really bad. What I should do is redo this symbol so that I've spun it so many times now I don't know the normal orientation. That is the normal angle. Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible. I really want to redo that symbol and bind the A and B sides together. Fix 1 to 4, and then I can link that to ground. All right, for now, what I'm going to do is do it like this, and I'm going to, no, not route, I'm going to bring out nets, D plus, D minus, D plus, D minus. I'm going to bring out the positive and negative nets and name them and link them. So that is going to be USB negative, yes, and this is going to be USB positive, yes, and then this is the bit that is that just makes me feel sick. Coming across here, doing this D plus and linking that, and then minus. This is so ugly. And linking that, then I'm gonna stick a ground here. I'll move it down a little bit. Oh, I so want to redo this symbol. It's horrible. To there, link that to the ground pin, take the fixings to the ground. Oh, and there's a ground up there. Okay, so I've got to link that, and there's a ground up there. See, there are all these, this is like a physical representation, once again, of the connector, not a logical representation. And it's horrible. All right, so then are we going to have the S-bus pull downs? Oh, Henrik is sending me a message. Look at the YouTube, the YT chat. Okay, what? Just do the net flags on both sides, Stephen says. Okay, so I've got to get back. No, you don't need a level shifter, says Henrik. I think Superhouse muted? No. If you drop the V in voltage on the first LED, you can use it to boost your data voltage, says Jordan. Yes, I've done that on previous Yes, you do. Green, good, yellow, and red, GTFO. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so I probably do want to put the... text-to-speech. Okay, I'll try refreshing text-to-speech. I probably do want to put those RGB LEDs back on. So I just recently used these edge lit LEDs in a project for a client, and I can't remember if I needed to level shift the data line or not. I think I did, but that's probably worth it. It is probably worth a level shifter to make that work.
Mitchell R said, this is a test.
And the test worked. Yeah, I want to redo this. I want to redo this symbol so badly. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some resistors on the S-bar lines. S-bar. And what are the value? We need 5K ones, don't we? Oh no! You're gonna get me. Okay, who rickrolled me? What is going on? Mitchell said that was for Henrik. Graham said, would a beeper be better for GTFO than an LED? Yeah, a beeper. Maybe a beeper. I am not convinced that I want a piezo on this. I am not convinced at all. Okay, so I'm going to pull these S-bus lines down to ground. S-bus 2 there, and S-bus 1 is there. Okay. This whole thing is just ugly and horrible. I think I'm going to rework that symbol, but I'm going to do that in my own time. I'm not going to do that on the stream. So what we can do now is get rid of this, because what we can do is link the this polyfuse. In fact, I probably want to replace this polyfuse footprint as well. Where is V+? V+.
Said, officially demonetized.
Officially demonetized, yeah. So V+. Oh, and look at this. Look how horrible this is going to be. Look at this. V+. From here to here to here to here. And back up to here. And to here, and to here, and then here, and over here, and down. And look, we connected to there, and from there to there to there. Look at that abomination. All right, do we need anything else off this USB connector? We've got ground, we've got V+, which we need for powering it. We've got the pull downs, or are these pull ups? I can't remember. Are they? No, they're pull downs. Yeah, the S-bus pin, the SBU things are pull downs, surely. And is my memory correct that they're 5K ones? So, or is it CC1 and CC2? No, I think it's CC. It's the charge current. Oh, it's not even S-bus. It's the charge current pins. So let's fix that little problem.
Said, I would say put a speaker on it. The product would talk to people with John's voice.
Yeah. Let's not give it my voice. We don't want to traumatize people. So
said, you have 1 minute. New symbol.
New symbol in 1 minute. Surely you jest. What else do we have? Yes. That's it. Okay. Oh, we've got Xenas here. Do we care about the Xenas? We probably do. Yeah, let's put the protection Xenas in. what do? We can get rid of that. We can get rid of all of that. We can grab that. No. I'm going to move this out of the way so that I can grab this and move this to here and, oh, excuse me, move those and put these static protection centers on the data lines. We're going to bind that ground to that ground, get rid of that symbol. Could have got rid of the other symbol, would have made more sense. And just move these in a fraction. And I think we've done everything we need to around the USB side of it. I'm going to, what am I going to do? Move that down a bit. Bring this out here. Bring this along here. And move that label there. I'm just going to say USB connection.
Wagon Load said, at Wagon Loads.
Yeah, close. It is slowly getting into a better shape. Move that over there.
Ostrov said, in the last 3 minutes can you show the 2 links I've sent you to Discord? DM1 is an option, other one is the Pogo Power Connector.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to use Pogo Power connectors, but I will open Discord in a second. I'm just going to move this in here. I probably shouldn't be moving this in yet because I want to redo that symbol, and this whole thing is going to get dramatically smaller. At the moment I can't fit these into the sheet because this is taking up way too much room. And then what I'll do is bring this down here, and I think I'll put like 2 on each side. And then I'm going to put a level shifter in there. So here we go. My to-do list is going to be LED level shifter and update USB-C symbol. I think that's probably it.
Mitchell R said, check new members list before you go. On TTS, quite a few faces.
Ooh, okay, I will. Thank you, Mitchell. Okay. Schematic's getting closer. Oh, I can compress a fair bit of this as well. I can save a fair bit of space in here. Bring this up. This can come up. This can come up.
Henrik Ostrov said, let's don't need level
there.
shifter.
But according to the spec they do, but according to practical experience, they may sometimes not. Like according to the data sheet, they do need level shifters. Is that going to go down there? Yeah. That can go there. Yeah, there's more shuffling to do, more cleaning up.
Aaron Knox said, sorry for being late, but without distracting you, what makes this version a pro?
What makes this version a pro is that it has a whole bunch of extra features. So there is when I did this project originally, there was the AQS Basic, which was just the sensor in a box, and it was very simple. It was just reporting air quality sensor using the particulate matter sensor. Air quality using the particulate matter sensor, yeah. But this version adds a display on the front, and it's got the BME 680 environmental sensor, and the mode button, and LEDs now for showing the air quality.
Said, I use these LEDs with Wemos D1 Mini all the time, never had ENY problem.
Okay, cool. Are you talking specifically about the little edge-lit ones? Because they're different to the normal WS2812. This is, let's see if we go into the PCB, you'll see. So these are not regular WS2812s. These are, in fact, what I'm going to do is grab one of these. I'm going to update the the 3D model. Although this might be on the wrong side of the PCB. Yeah, I'm just going to stick them on here for now and update the 3D model so you can see what these things look like.
Aaron Knox said, nice, so Pro version 2 would have support for Zigbee and Matter.
Yeah, I could add an H2 module on there perhaps. I'm just going to...
Eric Ostrov said, oh then IDK, the normal ones work well.
Oh, okay. Yep. Alright, so push to 3D. And we shall see the chaos. I can't remember if I've got if I've got 3D models for these LEDs. Oh, I do. Cool. I made 3D models for them. That's pretty cool. So though, yeah, these are the little edge. They're side-mounted LEDs. They're WS2812s, but they're really small. They're half the size of a WS2812. Because a normal WS2812 is like that wide, but it is that dimension vertically as well, like in the other dimension. Imagine a WS2812 cut in half and then turned sideways. And that's what these little edge mount LEDs are. And they go onto pads on there.
Fun said, will this support Wi-Fi reporting via the 32 Spanish pesetas?
Via the what? Wi-Fi reporting, definitely. ESP, yes. Wi-Fi, definitely, yeah. The firmware that I had running on it was reporting to MQTT via Wi-Fi. Yep. But what I really want is for the edge mount LEDs to be on this side of the PCB, which means that I am then at a double-sided load. Well, yeah, no, they'll still work there. If they go on the back of the PCB, they'll still work because it'll reflect through the sides of the enclosure and be visible. I wonder if I want some on the front though as well. I don't know. I'm undecided about that whole LED thing.
Eric Ostrov said, 32 Spanish pesetas.
32 Spanish pesetas. Yeah, ESP32. All right, now I'm just going to switch to this view because I'm going to open Discord.
Said, I don't think people in Australia support ESP32 lol.
And hang on, could use this for power. AliExpress. Okay, I'm going to open the link that Henrik sent me and bring it up on screen. Where am I? There. Okay, so Henrik suggested using these magnetic pogo pins. So we've got USB here. Which connections go through? USB charging cable. Yeah. This is actually kind of cool, but I want data as well, not just charging. So this has just got the 2 pins, and I guess that's just the 5 volt and ground from USB. And then you'd probably need a bridge rectifier or something internally. So because you could connect this either way around, and you wouldn't want to have the polarity backwards, obviously. And it would be annoying just having a diode so that if you put it on backwards, it didn't work at all. You'd want it to work either way around. So ideally some kind of a bridge rectifier. What would be nice would be if it was 3 pins and it was something like ground, power, ground with the power in the middle so it's symmetrical, and then you could reverse which way around you connected it. That is kind of cool though. Henrik, thanks for sending that link through. I've used...
Henrik Ostrov said, you can't connect other way magnets, will stop it. Fun said, wall mount version may need different switch orientation and LED positions too, so maybe worth 2K styles.
Yeah, definitely 2K styles. It's just a question of whether I want to do 2 versions of the PCB with different footprints or something. Okay, so the magnets are opposing, which means you shouldn't be able to plug it in the wrong way around.
Mitchell R said, you wouldn't need a full bridge rectifier since the magnets are opposing, so it can only go on one way, but there are more pins below.
Yep. That's cool. Yeah, there are these other ones with different...
Henrik Ostrov said, look
pins.
the other link as well.
Look the other link. Where is the other link? This one open. Alright. What is this one?
Henrik Ostrov
Raspberry
said,
Pi
that
Orange.
auction price was insane for the things I won.
What is... what am I clicking here? Okay, which... Oh, you can't see because my stupid face is in the way. Where is OSD?
Aaron Knox said, fifth resulted in related items has enough pins available.
Okay, which one of these says accept cookies? Yeah, okay. It won't let me get onto the page. The top one, okay, accept cookies. Alright, auction is ended or not active. Okay. What was the reason for this? Oh, it was insane for the things I won. Oh, Henrik, okay, so you won this auction. 437 euros. There's a lot of stuff in that box. Wow, that's pretty cool. Okay. So, I need to start getting this wrapped up. Right after this, I am heading down to help my friend Andy move his Cray supercomputer. So he and a different Lachlan, not the Lachlan from here, are down there at the moment disassembling it and getting it ready to move, and I'm going to go down and give him a hand. I can hear a car pulling up. No, not for me. Yeah, so after this I'm going to be driving down to Hawthorne to help them move the Cray. So let's wrap this
Aaron
up.
Knox said, take care of your shoulder, John.
Yep.
Mitchell R said, make videos.
Yep. So the my shoulder is actually in much better shape now. It's doing really well. So I did kickboxing yesterday and didn't even notice. Like, I didn't notice the shoulder at all. It gave me no restrictions. Even doing like a cross within the last few weeks, if I was doing, like, I could jab with the left, but if I had to do a cross and do a full rotation of the shoulder, like a full extension of the shoulder, the limited range of motion would stop it. I could do hooks okay because the shoulder doesn't really extend, but doing a cross was difficult. But yesterday, no problem at all. I could do crosses, full power, full extension, full body rotation. So yeah, my shoulder is much, much better than it has been in the past. So where are we at? Okay, let's have a look at the state of this now. So we've got the environmental sensor, we've got the particulate matter sensor. Let's just do a minor bit of cleaning up. Move that up there. Take those up. Take that up. And the display. This is going to need more cleaning up once I've done the updated symbol for the USB connector. So we've got the LEDs there, power supply and mode button are hanging out by themselves over here. Will the power supply fit in there now? It may. What I'll possibly end up doing, yeah, no, not quite. Although it would, if I moved that there and that there, then it would fit. So now let's move it back in there. Oh, no, it doesn't quite fit. Oh well, I'm not fussed about that just yet. Okay, so what I will do is connect WS2812s In fact, let's do this. I'm going to put a, what do we do? We'll put a resistor in here. So data in on the first one, and we'll stick a label on that and connect it so that we at least have our pin assignments fairly final on the S3. What value do we want on that? Maybe like a 470 ohm resistor, so just like an inrush current limiting resistor. And then we're going to stick 5 volts to VDD on each of these. I'm going to need to move these to make a little bit more space, but let's go there, and then each one of these needs a ground, so I'll stick it there, there, there. Data out. Yep. So they definitely need to move apart so that I can run the data. Well, I could do that. Make a little staircase. So we will move this, move it that way, there. Yeah, we can almost make this fit. There, there, and there. Yeah, I think that'll fit. So that one, do the staircase, and connect 5 volts there, 5 volts there, ground there, staircase again, and need a ground on the last one, of course, so I'll stick a ground there. I think that's it. Alright, so I just need to assign what pin should I use. Maybe IO2, IO1. Let's make IO2 the LEDs. So I'll stick. I can't remember if there's anything in particular about IO2 LEDs. And join that net, IO2 LEDs. Okay. And then this I will probably move up here somewhere once I am cleaning up the schematic a bit. Alright. I think we're reasonably complete on the schematic, apart from the messiness of the USB, which then has flow-on effects for how the rest of this is just set out on the sheet. I think the schematic is kind of okay. The PCB is not. It is definitely not okay. Just for the fun of it, I'm going to ignore violators, grab the Mini and stick it. Ooh, LEDs are in the way. That's interesting. All right, I'm gonna have to think about that a little bit. So I'm just gonna leave it there for now. And save it. Do a push to 3D just so I can save that so that everything is synchronized. And then I'm gonna bail and leave you all to your Sunday afternoons, if that is the time zone that you are in right now. Okay. Well, not finished, but it's an improvement. And at least now I've got my brain back into the space of thinking about this design, so I should be able to get this wrapped up fairly quickly. Okay. What have I missed in the chat?
Ostrov said, I got the auction for 437. We calculated the retail to be like 1400.
Yeah, that was a bargain, Henrik. Good job getting that, winning that auction. That is really cool. Oh, look, there are two. Let's get rid of, no, get rid of that. Get rid of that. Yes. All right. Okay. Where are we? What have I missed? Okay. Just disable bad words, says Mitchell R. Oh no, don't say that. Peter is going to say all sorts of things. Yes. Okay, so I am going to finish my iced coffee and bail and go and help Andy and Lachlan with moving this cray. And okay, 60 ultrasonic sensors.
Mitchell R said, like and subscribe advert. Henrik Ostrov said, there was 14 Raspberry PY4 rupees, 15 Orange Pi Zero, a lot power pricks, around 60 USB cameras, 60 ultrasonic sensors, and a whole bunch more.
That's a lot of stuff. That was a good auction to win, Henrik. All right. Thank you very much for coming along and looking over my shoulder as I very chaotically rejigged an old project. Oh, Jack's Tech asked, where'd the cray come from? Andy used to work at Cray Research, and that particular cray is one that was... Where was it installed? I think that one was either Department of Defense or Bureau of Meteorology. I don't know. It was somewhere like that. There were only ever... I can't remember how many. I think there might have been somewhere between 1 and 3 Cray XMPs in Australia.
Scott Miller said, thanks John, was fun. Ostrov
Yes.
said, happy John's Day, goodbye.
Okay, so thank you everybody. It's always fun hanging out with you on a Sunday, and I will talk to you all really soon. Thanks. Bye.